So a couple weeks ago, check this out. I'm driving down the street and I happen to glance up at the freeway. And on the freeway, there was this line of all white cars. And I thought, well, how funny. So I'm driving on the street and driving on my way home. And every car I see after that is a white car. And I thought, well, isn't this interesting? And I'm at a stop sign and the other 3 cars are white, and I just kind of chuckled to myself. All afternoon, I see all these white cars. It's like being pregnant, right? Isn't it the truth? Either when you're pregnant or your spouse is pregnant or whatever, all of a sudden everyone seems pregnant. You keep running into these people, right? It's that idea of like attracts like. That's all it is. What we're putting our attention on, what we're focusing on, is right here, right in front of us. And it keeps manifesting, it keeps showing up. And this is true too. Yesterday I was here in the morning, I had an appointment. And on the way home, I needed to stop. And I'm thinking about the talk topic. And so I got white cars on my mind. So I pull into the store. This is the truth, I swear to you. There are like 15 cars at the gas station. 10 of them are white. And I just had to laugh. But how often do we do that? You know, it's where our focus is, what we're thinking about, what we're attracting to us. That's why it's a really good idea to pay close attention to what we're thinking about. Not necessarily, we don't have to be too concerned about those fleeting thoughts, because we do have a lot of those. We just want to be careful about the ones that we're focusing on, the ones that we're really spending that time with. Because here's the reality. We don't always attract what we want. We attract whatever energy we're putting out, right? We're also attracting what we truly believe about ourselves, about our limitations, about our beliefs, according to what we believe or what we think we deserve. Really spend a little bit of time with that thought during the week, because that's really important. One reason people have trouble achieving positive results that they're looking for when they're working with the law of attraction is, and even though they have that positive thinking thing down, which most of us do, right, when we're conscious, the problem becomes those unconscious thoughts and feelings and beliefs. Those things get in the way. Things that we don't think about, but they are there. Another reason people forget to take action. Another reason is that people forget to take action when they're working with the law of attraction. It isn't a magic wand. I know The Secret, came out, which was a great thing because it really mainstreamed the law of attraction, and I thought that part was really good. The part that I didn't personally, in my humble opinion, didn't feel was great was they didn't really emphasize, hey, there's work to do. Hey, it's not magic. You can't go like this. And so a lot of people poo-pooed it simply because it didn't do exactly what the book said. Well, you needed more information, right? You needed to delve deeper into that. So it's not about closing your eyes and making a wish and having your dreams come true right in front of you. That isn't what this is about. We need the alignment between our logical mind and our emotional heart in order for that law to work the way we want it to work. And yes, it is a law. It is a universal law. It's an energetic law. So when you desire something, be it a goal, an outcome, it's important to feel it, to feel that desire, to feel that goal, to give it an energetic charge that the universe can't help but respond to. I did it for something as simple as a white car, for goodness sake. It does work that easily when you're focused, when you put your attention there. Now, it isn't enough to have just an idea or just a desire or just a goal. It's also not enough to write it down or to have a vision board or to talk about it. The idea is we want our conscious and our subconscious mind to line up in harmony with each other to help create that synchronicity that is necessary for us to manifest that desire. When we impress upon our subconscious mind over and over again, that coherence begins to get created between those two sides of our brain. We cannot entertain weak, harmful, negative thoughts for 10 hours during the day and then expect to bring about these beautiful, lovely manifestations by spending 10 minutes of that strong, focused thought. And sometimes we do that. We think, well, I spent 10 minutes this morning and I really meant it and I was really positive. Yeah, but what about the other 23 hours, right? Again, we'll go back to those subconscious thoughts, those limiting beliefs that are hiding inside of there. The universe isn't going to respond to every thought. It's going to respond to the ones that are predominant in our lives. And that's why, even in that video, he talks about, look in the mirror. How is your internal life? How is your external life? Because they're a match. And I did appreciate that. I'm going to share this story that Alan Cohen wrote. He said God was giving this man a tour of heaven after he had passed. And after he observed various rooms, the two passed a closed door. So this man said to God, what's behind that door? I'm not going to show it to you. It would make you very sad. He says, well, I want to see it anyway. So God opened the door, revealed this chamber of vast treasures, luxurious jewels, electronic toys, sports cars filled the room. Wow, the man said, this is incredible. Why on earth would I be sad to see all of this? And God said, well, these are the gifts that I offer people. And they're not willing to take them, to accept them. So I put them in here. And the man said, well, that is just incredible. Isn't that a Rolls Royce over there? So the man walked over, got in the Rolls Royce, and has his name on it. So he said to God, this is the car I always wanted. I prayed every night to you for a car. How come I never got this one? And God said, because you prayed for a Ford. Right? What we focus on is what we get. We get what we deserve, what we believe we deserve. Let me get that really clear. There are between 50, you'll hear different numbers, 50, 70, 80, 100,000 thoughts that go through our mind every single day. And you know what? The majority of them are negative. We don't always think about the wonderful, beautiful butterflies and things. It's just part of being human, right? Those negative thoughts get in there and they like to repeat themselves. Boy, do they like to repeat themselves. I know in my head, thank you, God, not everything manifests, right? Because one moment I'm thinking about my dog and what time my husband's coming home, what am I going to fix for dinner, and I hope my car gets me, and do I need gas, right? Do you guys have that? Just crazy, crazy, crazy. I hope I'm not the only one. Just crazy, crazy, crazy thoughts constantly. How chaotic would it be if every thought did manifest? And that's kind of, I'm going to go back and jump to The Secret for a second. Didn't make that real clear, right? the thoughts that are going to manifest are the ones that we place our intention and attention on. So the first step, and it's only the first step, to using that law of attraction is shifting to a more positive way of thinking. And the reason that a lot of people give up on the law of attraction is that they believe if they start thinking positive thoughts, all their dreams are going to manifest, and they don't. And they don't. And thank goodness they don't. Can you imagine if you received everything that you ever thought or everything you ever wanted? Eek. Right? Sometimes we think we want or need something, and boy, oh boy, I'll revert back to what I said last week, that God has 3 answers to prayer. Yes, not now. I have something better in mind. Right? Jim Carrey, maybe you've heard the story about Jim Carrey when he first moved to LA. He was poor, didn't have a job, and he really used a lot of positive visualization. And he would go up, I believe it was to Mulholland Drive, and he would sit up there and he'd visualize and feel that he had this job. And he actually wrote himself a check for $10 million. And years go by. Hear that? Years go by, right? Because he's focused. He knows what he wants. And the first job he ever got paid him that $10 million. So yes, it does work. Not always in our time, always in God's time. And I reiterate, you can't spend 10 hours a day thinking about everything that's wrong and then expect those 10 minutes to change your life. It's a story, it's a start. So I have another story about manifesting. There's this man, and he walks into a restaurant, and he's with a full-grown ostrich. So the waitress asked the man, what would you like to order? And he said, well, I want a hamburger, French fries, and a Coke. And he looked at the ostrich, and he said, what do you want? And the ostrich says, I'll have the same thing. So, short time later, the waitress walks in with the order, and she said, okay, that's $9.40. So the man reaches in his pocket, he pulls out $9.40, gives it to the waitress, they leave. Next day, same thing. Man and the ostrich come in, orders the same thing. He wants a hamburger, he wants French fries, and a Coke. Ostrich says, I want the same thing. Waitress brings it out. Price is $9.40, pulls exactly $9.40 out of his pocket, and he pays her. So this goes on and on and on until it becomes a routine. So one day he walks in, and the waitress says to him, do you want the usual? He said, no, I'm gonna change it up. I want a steak, I want a baked potato, and I want a salad. And the waitress looks at the ostrich, and the ostrich says, yes, I'll have the same. So the woman comes back, and she said, okay, it's $19.62. The man puts his hand in his pocket, and he pulls out $19.62. Pretty darn amazing. So the waitress now, she just can't stand it. She's so curious. Not about the ostrich, by the way. So she says to this man, why is it that every time you put your hand in your pocket and you pull money out, it's the exact change? He said, well, I'm going to tell you a story. He said, a couple years ago, I was in the attic and found a lamp, and I rubbed it, and a genie came out. The genie gave me 2 wishes. He said the first wish was that if I ever had to pay for anything, I would just reach into my pocket, and the exact change would come out. She's like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Most people ask for millions of dollars, but you'll never be without. You could buy anything you want and have that amount of money in your pocket. He said, that's right. Doesn't matter if it's a brand new car, a gallon of milk. I reach in my pocket and I have the correct change. So the waitress says, okay, so what's with the ostrich? Finally. And he said, well, my second wish was, I asked for a tall chick with long legs. And a tall chick with long legs who would agree with everything I said. She's going to give me the bad one. Oh, all right. The universe appreciates clarity with our requests. Okay? He could have been a little more clear. More importantly, it loves action. Now, we get what we deserve, what we believe we deserve. And so that's exactly what happened in that story, right? So it comes down to that. What do we think we deserve? What is our self-worth? And I have a rhetorical question for you because I'm going to answer it. How deserving do you think you are? And I'm going to answer that question for you. For every single one of you, because you all deserve the absolute best of everything, of all things. You deserve to live the life that you want to live. You deserve to have all good things. However, you will receive only what you think you deserve. Doesn't matter what I say, doesn't matter how I feel about you. And I want you to hear that, though. I know it's the truth for each and every single person in this room. Because we are all children of the One. We are all of that same source. Subconsciously, we choose and we attract in our life the people and the experiences that we believe we deserve, that we believe are going to help us through whatever challenges or experiences we need to go through. And sometimes we don't like the way it looks, right? So it's about shifting our subconscious thinking. Because if we don't like the way something looks or the way it's showing up in our life, we need to shift. That other person or situation doesn't need to shift, we do. That's the only thing we truly have control over. We need to consciously, habitually build that positive mental muscle. We all have layers and layers of stories, of limitations, of fears, of blocks that have become a part of who we are. Whether we see them or not, they're there. They may be buried. And those things are not changed overnight. And they are not changed when we close our eyes and say, I wish, I hope, right? There's work to be done. There's always work to be done. Patience, practice, that's key. In order for us to be a master at manifesting through the law of attraction, we need to undo some of those patterns that we've brought into our life and that we just do habitually. They're stored in our subconscious mind, so we want to replace them with very positive, very empowering thoughts. In other words, we need to rewire our brain, rewire the way that we think, be consciously aware of our thought processes. We begin doing that by paying attention to what we're focusing on. Are you paying attention to what's right in your life, in the world, or are you paying attention to what's wrong? That's where we have to start. When we work on manifesting roadblocks and challenges, obstacles, they're going to come up. That's just part of the program. We can't get away from that. However, when you focus on those things that are right, you become an incredible problem solver. And what a skill and gift that is, because it builds the confidence within you. It quickly raises your energetic vibration. And then you begin to move through those obstacles a lot more easily. And quickly, quite frankly. Another interesting thing to do, I've never tried this, and if you try it, let me know how it works. It was a suggestion I read, is to keep a worry list for like 2 weeks. every time that every minute that you start to worry, you write down you jot down this worry. Two things. It helps release the energy, that energy that often keeps us stuck in the moment. And at the end of 2 weeks, you're going to know, you read it, and you're going to notice none of those worries were warranted. Isn't that the truth? Don't we have great hindsight? Now, when we put it down on paper and we read it and we look at it and we kind of laugh at ourselves as the goal, right? Because at that point, then your brain has evidence, has physical evidence that worry is a waste of energy. Because nothing happened. I just thought that was kind of a fun suggestion. You got to carry a pencil and pad around. Maybe all day long, maybe a really thick one, I don't know. There's so many things to worry about, aren't there? Another thing we can do is meditation. You know, I talked about that a lot last week. And meditation is a great help in releasing and relaxing that darn monkey mind that we have. With meditation, you don't stop thinking. It just means you're softening your perception around your thoughts. You're kind of just letting them go. You know, go somewhere else. It helps us withdraw attention from those stressful, negative patterns that we have created in our lives. Maybe you haven't. Most of us have. Right? Our negative, and what I find fascinating about that is our negative emotions, they get stuck in our body on a cellular level. And those of us who do energy work understand that idea because that energy gets stuck in your body, right? And so that energy work helps to release that. Another way to release that is physical movement. So dance in the privacy of your own home, really, not here. No, I'm kidding. No. Spend some time, dance. Yoga is awesome because you're moving that body and getting rid of that negative energy. Go for a walk, even if it's in the backyard. It doesn't matter, just keep movement going. Of course, gratitude is one of the absolute simplest ways to raise our vibration. When we recognize and when we appreciate all of our blessings, it automatically puts us in that feel-good place. Writing goals helps us clear, and it also helps us to create inspired action toward those desires. Because connecting to the why we want something means connecting to the feeling of achieving it. When we connect to the why, we raise our vibration. We become magnets for attracting the right people, the right circumstances, that help us achieve that goal, that desire. And read those written goals daily. It does help. Get that into your subconscious mind. Feel like you already have what it is you want. That is a huge key through the law of attraction. And the most important is thank the universe. Thank the universe for the gift you've already received. Act as if, right? Be like a child, knowing that all things are possible. And get excited, because when you get excited, that really does help take that inspired action. Hold that thought. Stay in that positive place. By implementing those daily positive practices in our lives, it will shift and raise our energetic vibration. And that way, we're manifesting from that place of calm, inspired action, so we can live that life that we are meant to live. Thank you for being here while I shared this truth as I understand it. Thank you.